Welcome everyone. In this video session, we'll be doing something very interesting with respect to text formulas. Now, what are specifically text formulas? Primarily, which exist under formulas tabs under the classification made by Excel text functions. Now, they help in representing data better and getting some information out of the cells that you may have selected. Let me take an example. Let's say in this current scenario, on the first case study that I have, the names are all in haphazard cases, some in uppercase, some in lower, some in mixed spaces. So what I want to make them is consistent in looks. So I type in a formula proper. Let me press the tab key to formula autocomplete. Now it asks for only one thing, that's the text, that's the cell. So if I choose that, let's see what happens. Yes, exactly. It makes the first letter capitalized, the rest small. So wherever it encounters a space, it identifies the next first letter and then capitalizes that as well. So if I drag this down right now, you will notice Jain Financial Services. Take the example of Kali Krishna Investment Private Limited. Looks appropriate. Now this looks good when you take a printout. So yes, this is primarily used for presentation. Similarly, there exist two more similar formulas, upper, lower. So by the name, I can predict that upper refers to all upper cases. So if I choose the cell, as I have done in this particular cell, and then I drag this down, every name in upper cases. Similarly, lower, let me press the tab key. Once it auto-completes, let me choose the cell. So everything now in lowercase. Now most likely you are going to use the proper, sometimes upper, but I've rarely seen someone use lower. But yes, the formula exists for your use. Coming to the next case, let's say if we are talking about a data which have random spaces in between, you want to keep one space in between the words and eliminate the rest. Now how do I do that? Equal to trim. Asks you to select only one cell. Okay, I do. Now it doesn't change the cases. What it does is it removes extra spaces. Just keep one. That is what we required. And it does that for all. And by any chance, if you want to make sure that all of this data exists in proper case, I can combine two formulas, proper and trim. So let me double click on the first cell. So whatever I've got as a trimmed answer, just before that, let me introduce the formula proper and open the brackets. Now it asks for text, which we are going to give it. So after closing the bracket, if you notice, as soon as I close the bracket, it highlighted, indicating yes, I have closed proper number of brackets. Now if I press enter and use the drag option down, this is what exactly I wanted from my raw data. So proper, upper, lower, trim, very useful. Now in some cases, you may also want to verify the accuracy of the data. For example, phone numbers, they may be 10 digits consistently. They have to be 10 digits consistently. Membership number, they have to be 6 digits consistently. So how do I ascertain the length of the characters of the digits of phone numbers, membership numbers, maybe employee IDs? I will be using the formula len. Len indicates length. So I select the cell as is asked, closing the brackets, enter. Now if I double click at the bottom right of the cell, some are not 10. This is incorrect. Even this looks not genuine. So if I were to use a filter, basic filter, I can simply choose the data, go to data tab, go to filter option, and from this small drop down, I can easily say, please give me everything else except 10. 10 is the genuine ones. So if I press OK, all the invalid ones are there right before my screen. Let me clear the filter. So there you go. We have talked about length to ascertain the length of the characters. Now sometimes when you are working with numbers, some of them may be stored as text. As you can see from the message, number in this cell is formatted as text. Now we had done one session where we talked about how do you clean this data using text to columns, but here we are going to talk about 3 formulas that can assist in reporting the exceptions. What do I mean by that? Let's say if I type in equal to t, yes, that's the single letter formula that exists in Excel. Let me press the tab key because that's the first option chosen in the drop down list. It asks for the value. So if I select this, close the bracket. Now what does T stands for? It stands for text. If it is not text, it will not be shown, hence blank. The formula exists though. Now if I drag this down, you will notice only exceptions have been demonstrated, displayed. So this is often used for exception reporting. Similarly, quite the opposite. N stands for numbers. So if I press in equal to N, using the tab key, let me write the N bracket open. Let me select the number. Now if it is a number, it will be shown. If it is a text, it will be displayed as null value, 0 values. So again, used for exception reporting. Now a problem exists with numbers stored as text. That is, if we try to use a sum formula and try to add these two numbers up, they are supposed to give me 11,000 plus, but they don't. If I close the bracket, let me redo it, choosing the data, close the brackets, enter. You notice it doesn't give me 11,000 plus, it only considers the first digit. Now how do I clean this data using a formula without touching my master data? There exists one formula called value. If I choose the cell, whatever numeric stored as text will now be stored as number. To give you an example, if I write the same formula sum and add these two numbers up, you notice this time it is giving the correct answer vis-a-vis the previous scenario. So anytime you're working with supercritical numbers, you may want to apply value formula and to ensure that any numbers which are stored as text are not ignored for your calculation, be it sum, average, max or min. So there you go, T, N, value. Coming to the next case, this is a rather interesting one. Let's say these are names of few students and their scores given on a scale of 1 to 10. Now I want a quick graph, technically not a graph, but quick indicator which shows me who has got the highest. Now how do I do this? Now to do this, I will have to first see what formula REPT does, repetition does. So I say equal to REPT. It asks for 2 hints. One is text and the particular text that I'm going to insert, how many number of times it must be repeated. Let's say I say hi, double quotation closed, comma, and let me repeat this 5 times. So as you can expect, hi, hi, hi 5 times. So similarly, if the scores are given which represents 3 bars, let me delete the rest of the cells formula. Let's see how this can be generated. So I say REPT. Now I want this indicator. This is just above the enter key, straight line. So double quotation open, activating the straight line, double quotation closed. This particular thing I want to be repeated based on the number of scores. So 9 times. Enter. Once I drag this down, so if it is, let's say, just 1, this will be reduced to 1. If let's say this is 25 times. So this is generally used when you have a scale which is restricted to 1, 10 or maybe 25. You cannot expect to decipher a data which is, let's say, 1 lakh. Hence the reason why you're getting a value error. Quite often used in evaluation forms. So if you're rating me 1 good, 10 bad, I can quickly look at the ratings, overall view. Alright, to end this session, I'll take a combination of various formulas to talk about a real life issue. For example, sometimes when you are keeping a track of check numbers, the bank check numbers, consistently it is 6 digits. Now sometimes bank check numbers may start with 2 zeros, and because of which the staff may write it this way. As soon as I press enter, you'll notice the 0 goes off. Now, if the data has been maintained, has already been written in such form, how do I convert it into this format quickly? So I'll be taking the help of 3 technique: len, rept, and ampersand, which is the formula for concatenate. So first let me find out how many zeros must be inserted as prefix in each of the check numbers. How do I do that? In your mind, you will start to define the logic that if it is 6 digits already, why to add 1 0? If it is, let's say, 4 digits, that will be 2 zeros to be added. So in your mind, we played this logic that is equal to 6, that's the maximum number of digits possible for a check number, less the length of the current check number posted. So as of now, 6 minus 6 shall give you 0. If I drag this formula down, for the next one it says 6 minus 4 digits equal to 2. So I need 2 numbers of 0, 2 zeros as prefix. Alright. Now once that is done, let me break the solution into 2 different steps. Adjoining to the first cell, I write repeat. Repeat. Yes, repeat what? Within quotation 0. How many number of times? 0 number of times, because for the first instance there is no prefix to be added. Agreed. So hence I'm getting a blank. But if I drag it down, you will notice 2 zeros, 4 zeros, 3 zeros. And if I can now use concatenate to combine the selected data with the existing check numbers, that is going to give me the final answer which is there in the preview. So let me get inside the first cell, double click. After the formula ends, let me use the ampersand sign and then choose the check number. Since nothing exists for the first instance, so straight away only the 6-digit check number is going to be posted. Now if I drag the formula down, perfect. Now if you were thinking to do this in one single cell, yes, certainly we'll do that. Let me double click the cell. This D54, the one getting highlighted with the blue borders, is represented by a formula. So let me press escape. Let me get inside this D54. Let me copy this formula right from 6 till the end. I'm not copying this equal to, so copying it. After which let me press escape, re-enter the next formula and substitute this D54. Let me paste it. So I'll be careful, no extra equal to should be there. As I press enter, yes, the output is going to be the same, but this time I am not going to require the result of this particular cell. Now it's a straight answer. So give it a try, these few techniques which can help you present data better. We'll talk about more text formulas in the coming sessions. Thank you.